Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the third episode of the SuperNova Show. I have a wonderful cast of characters today. Let's introduce some of them today. Let's introduce for the first time ever. He helps admin and TMG Entertainment, Mr. Aaron. How are you doing today, Aaron?
Good. They didn't have Kevin, so they sent his bitch instead. That's kind of how this works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I know.
Have you seen the Geek League? That's how it works.
Oh, yeah. So how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm here. It's fun, man. I'm relaxed. That's what it is.
All right. Since I've asked Anthony and Amaro these questions before, so I'll ask you now. So tell us what interests you. What kind of things, your profession, if you would like to disclose that, or whatever suits your fancy. Tell us about Aaron.
I like movies.
All right.
I don't know if that's obvious. I help out in a movie channel. No. I mean, I don't know. I don't really talk about myself much to anyone, not just you guys. Like, my friends don't know shit about me either. But, yeah, I don't know. I like movies. I've been doing this for a long time now. So I just like helping out whenever I can, doing new things. I think I can say when I speak for the channel that we're excited to have a lot of new shows launching. And we're excited to get all of them under the way. And obviously that includes yours. We're excited for what's happened so far, and we're looking forward to the future. And I know I am myself. I realize that's not the personable intro you're looking for, but I just...
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah. Third episode of the show. It's pretty exciting. Like I told you before the show started, I have already planned out all of the episodes for the entire year because at my place of employment, we had nothing to do, so I had 40 hours to do something. So, when you have time, you plan, I guess. But that's good. I guess we'll definitely have you on the next few weeks to talk Schmodown and stuff. So it's good to have you around and everything. But I'm gonna go ahead and send you back to the back and welcome our SuperNova Show movie trivia champion, Anthony Tisdall. What's up, Anthony?
Not much. How you doing today?
Can't complain, I guess. Big weekend. Wife's birthday was on Tuesday, so we get to celebrate this weekend because, school, work, and all the wonderful pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
But last time we had you on was 2 weeks ago, but technically you had your match debut last week. So you've had like 2 weeks to stew on all of this. How are you doing?
I'm good. I enjoy doing this. I just like talking about movies, about stuff, even stuff I don't like, I do like, etc. It's a great time. So I'm glad to be on something where I can just discuss likes and dislikes of all the different stuff. And I got to play Kevin and won in a match. So technically, this is the first time I've been a champion, even though it's only for a week and I'm about to lose it in the next 5 minutes. But I got to say it for like a week. So go me. I'm going with that.
Yeah, you rock. But I mean, hey, you don't know who you're playing today. I guess we'll see.
I feel like I can take the
But how you been the last 2 weeks? I mean, I know you told me earlier work was a little stressful today, so
it has its moments. When stuff starts breaking down, it makes work a little more difficult, but we fight through, and we'll see if I wind up having to work all straight 8 hours tomorrow with no break because a lot of people are on leave, and we don't have a lot of people in the tower, so we'll see. Might be a long day, but it's all right. I only have a few of them, so I'll get through it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. Well, I'm gonna send you to the back and bring out Mr. In the draft himself, Mr. Amaro Moses. What's up, Amaro?
What's going on? First off, Anthony, I don't want to hear things breaking in a where you work. It seems very dangerous. I don't want to also put out where you work if you want to do that when you're back on shore. But Please don't break down. No, that scares me. But what's up? How you doing?
Can't complain. We just it's just another week. Loads of fun down here in North Carolina. At least it's not snowing. It's raining a whole lot, but it's not snowing, so we'll take it.
We got snow farther west for like a night, and then that was it.
Yeah, it's a big old mess. Like we talked last time about how it's probably been snowing here for decades, but we still haven't figured it out, and I don't understand why. But yeah, so how you feeling? Any pressure? The draft's in what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Pressure? No. Busy as hell? Yes. But I'm always glad to kind of slow down a little bit, chill out, talk movies. My girlfriend got me a new toy to play with for this virtual world on my birthday in December. So first time trying the ring light, but my computer camera is kind of trash. So I wanted to try it with my phone. But then when I do my phone on StreamYard, sometimes there's this weird noise. So if you see me switch cameras or pop in and out, it's because I'm trying crap out. See how it works. So
I understand. I understand completely. Things happen. It's going to be a good time, good show. We get to talk Schmodown. We get to predict the awards tonight, which actually I think the award show is on like right now. So none of us are watching that. So it's just our predictions. We don't know anything. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. I can't wait. But I'm going to go ahead and send you back to the back and then bring back out our champion. All right, Anthony. All right, so I'm going to take myself out of here, and I'm going to bring out
A lot of my face.
this evening.
I don't have a ring light like Rue. Like, this doesn't work. I need a ring light. He's looking like an Instagram model over there, and I'm just looking like a schlub.
Well, that's whatever. You got this, buddy. So, making their way into the stream for their first time on this stream, Christina Vasallo.
That's pretty good. Yo, that was creative. All right, that's good. That was all right. That's
I'm who you get to play. I was playing stupid the whole time.
That was pretty good. I didn't even know.
I know. You didn't know.
I did not. I honestly thought I was playing Rook. I'll be perfectly honest. And I was like, well, this will be fun. I'll lose pretty quickly.
Nope. You can win against me.
Yes. And I have Clint. Ha! He's down here.
Who's with you?
Yep.
Rude. I'm ready.
Oh.
All right, let's make sure I spelled your name correctly.
Yep.
All right, we're good. All right, hey, go ahead and cut promos against each other. This would be fun. What do you think?
Oh, I'm married to this person, so I'm not doing a promo against her because I choose life and I have to live with her every single day. But
Yeah.
I will probably still beat her unless it's all Chris Evans questions. If it is, I will probably lose. But I wish you the best of luck because I love you. You're my wife, and I want to just have a nice rest of the night after this is over.
I would like to get one question right when I lose to Anthony.
All righty. Well,
Oh, hello.
let's see here. How do I do?
Yeah.
Nope, that's not right.
Drag.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay.
I'm also learning this whole thing, so.
All right, thank you. I've never done that before. So, all right. So, Christina, I have a question for you. Do you want geek questions or singles questions?
Oh, singles. I don't know anything about geek.
All right. Good deal. I'm just, it's a question I gotta ask. All right. So, let us begin. Hey, Aaron, whenever you get the chance, will you update the score? I'm going to take their names down now.
Dave, this is the first time we've ever one-on-one played each other.
I know, this is weird. And I'm going to be really upset when like you beat me. And I'm going to be like, well, this has been fun. And then I don't have to hear about it for a month and a half.
Ha, that would be
Not
something.
probable, but pretty funny.
All right. So, first question. In the category of directors, what was George Lucas's first feature film as a director? Yeah.
We'll start this at 0-0.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Anthony?
Star Wars Episode 4.
Christina?
That's what I said because I don't actually know what it's called.
Both of you are incorrect. The movie was called THX 1138.
I never knew that was a thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Learn something every day.
Okay. And your second category in scores and soundtracks. Who composed the score to Jaws?
I just feel like, did you know who was like you knew who was playing today? I don't understand why these were the questions.
I
Yeah.
asked this exact same question to him last time. Or I had this exact same statement after some of the questions that were asked. A lot of directors, scores, and soundtracks. Not my.
I should know this because this was brought up in the holiday that we just watched, but I don't.
5,
Yeah.
4, 2, 1. All right, Christina,
Hans Zimmer.
Anthony,
John Williams.
John Williams is correct.
I got a score question.
You're playing me. It's not that exciting.
No, I'm where I got a score question.
All right, in the category of Oscars, name one of the 2 films that have won 11 Oscars. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anthony,
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Christina.
Titanic.
It is in fact Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Did you do that just because you know my distaste for this movie?
I did not.
Well, what's the other one? Did you say there were 2?
Yeah, the other answer was Ben-Hur from 1959.
Ah,
Hey, Colton, I don't mean to interject. There's actually 3. Titanic is the other one.
Oh, nice.
I used to read the back of that VHS a lot, so that knowledge was in my head.
All right, 2-1 there. Thank you, Aaron. All right, in the category of Tim Allen movies, how did Tim Allen's character, Scott Calvin, become Santa Claus in Santa Claus?
You're both of us writing a lot.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Christina.
He put on the jacket after Santa fell off the roof.
All right, Anthony.
Said put on the suit after Santa fell off the roof.
Okay, I will give that to both of you. The answer I have is he scares the previous Santa off the roof and takes the card and suit, activating the Santa Claus. So good one. All right, in the category of action adventure, who plays Hans Gruber in Die Hard?
Oh, I hope I have this guy's freaking name right.
He won't watch this movie.
No, Rue is in the background just hating my life right now if I get this wrong.
5,
Sure.
4, 3, 2, 1. Anthony?
Alan Rickman.
Christina?
Alan Rickman.
You're both correct.
Whew. You're not letting me run away with this.
No, I'm not. I mean, I am in the draft, I'm just saying.
Sure. Gotta be a reason.
In the category of sci-fi fantasy, who plays Rick Deckard in Blade Runner?
Not Blade. I'm just going to answer Blade.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Christina?
I don't know, so I just went with Blade, and I went with Wesley.
Love it.
Anthony?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford is correct.
I'm still giving you props for that answer, though.
Thank you.
In your 7th question, in horror thriller, what is the name of the hotel in The Shining?
Oh, I don't like scary movies. I don't know. What's a good hotel? I'm just gonna pick a fucking hotel.
The Holiday Inn.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anthony?
The Overlook.
And Christina?
I was a big fan of Paris back in the day, so Hilton.
The Overlook is correct, Anthony. The score is 6-3. In the category of movie release dates, in what year did the movie The Wizard of Oz come out?
I think it's old. Like older than that.
I'm sticking with it. Crap.
I don't know. I hate movie release dates.
4, 3, 2, 1. Christina?
1939.
Anthony?
I said 47.
1939 is correct.
Oh, shit!
How are you so good at movie release dates?
I like numbers.
God, you're so good.
In the category of biopics, who plays Steve Jobs in the 2013 film Jobs?
Shit. Which one is this one?
I'm
Can I just put both of them? Can I put both answers? Fuck.
with you. Oh, crap.
I don't even think this is this guy's first name. Or his last name. I think I'm making up a person right now. Shit.
Oh,
I don't. Which one did you go with? Just tell me which one you went with.
Not the one you went with.
3,
Shit, I don't remember which one was which.
1. Anthony?
I didn't remember which was. I said Ashton Kutcher.
Christina?
Oh God, I don't even think this is his name. Is his name Michael Fassbender? Is that his name?
That is one of the people who played Steve Jobs, but Anthony is correct. It was Ashton Kutcher.
You said you told it wrong. I was like, I know which one you went with.
And in the final category of animated movies, what is the name of the volcano in the fish tank in the movie Finding Nemo, as called by the other fish?
Oh, what is that thing called? Oh, I got it.
We just watched this.
Yeah.
It's called something?
Yeah.
I'm making something up. Fuck it. Listen, I got 4 points. I'm taking this as a win for Christina.
I'm impressed.
5, 4,
I should have gone Ashton.
2, 1. Christina?
The Bubble Maker.
And Anthony?
It was Mount Hakalugi.
That is correct.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh, actually, no, that is not
I
correct.
didn't put Mount, did I?
That is not correct. It's Mount Wanahakalugi.
Oh, so close. I'll take being close.
All right. So, and your winner, Anthony Tisdall.
You're welcome. I threw that. I totally knew it was Ashton, and all the other answers I got wrong.
I definitely knew you knew sci-fi and horror. I knew you were all over those.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So how do you guys feel about that?
I feel shocked. I feel shocked, Cotton. Shocked. I didn't really expect this was good. This was impressive.
Did you feel a little betrayed? Because I like straight up have been lying to your face for like almost 2 weeks now.
I feel slightly betrayed, but then you let me win, so I feel less betrayed. So we'll call it.
Yeah. The moment I knew you were in the match for the championship, I asked her if you won, if she would be your opponent, and she said absolutely yes. And I thought anything to mess with my friend, this is the best.
No, this was pretty good. I did not expect this at all, and I am proud. I am happy that it was her because she would go singles and not geek, and I didn't have to worry about that. So that was nice.
I mean, I should have gone geek because then I feel like it would have been an even playing ground because we both wouldn't have known a thing.
Yes.
So like I wouldn't have gotten a single question correct, and I would have just looked like an idiot. And then Rue could then brag on us even more about how many he got right.
Sure, we'll still get more.
All righty. Well, Christina, I'm gonna move you to the back, and then I know you have to.
Yeah, I have to head out. I have another appearance to make. So you boys have fun.
It's popular.
I know. Talking about whatever movies you're talking about. But I probably watched.
Yeah, it was great to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was so funny.
Bye. I'll see you upstairs.
All right, see ya.
That was good. That was funny. All right, I did not expect that at all.
Okay, so now to bring out your opponent for next week, Mr. Amaru Moses.
Oh, come on. Well, I have 2 weeks, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah, so
Singles and make it close and make it fair.
We'll see. We'll see what we do.
Yeah.
Yep. So you played one draft participant, and now you're going to play the next one. So how's?
I mean that was funny, but I thought I was playing through this week, so now I'll just. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna watch a bunch of geek movies. I'm just gonna lose if he picks geek. I'm aware of that, but it's cool. I've seen a bunch of them, so maybe it'll come up.
Possibly. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I have to say I enjoyed that so much, and me and Christina had a ball doing that.
I bet, and she has been straight up lying to my face, dead ass. Like she didn't even crack a smile whenever I said I was playing this. So. I don't know if I can trust her anymore.
All right, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and start moving on to talking about the showdown now. Yep. So. Nope.
Big face.
What do you need done?
Yep.
There it is.
Yep. All right. So.
By the way, can I just say, can I do that? That was fucking easy. Can I do that?
It's
shit.
Oh. Yeah. Anyone who wants to play in this is absolutely able to. It's like it's a good time.
How does no one know THX 1138? It's a classic.
I don't.
It's the name of his audio company.
I couldn't remember the number.
No, I'm fucking around. No, that was good though.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself thoroughly. In writing those questions, it was really good. I still haven't got to use any of my geek questions yet, so maybe Amaru will let me do that, or I'm gonna have to write new singles questions in the next week. I'll have to do it anyway, just in case if he chooses singles. But that was a good time. I've been sitting here all week because Anthony asked me, "Well, can I know who it is?" And I'm like, "Nope, you surely cannot. You absolutely cannot. That will ruin the game."
All right. Yeah, I get it. I get it now. I get it.
Yeah,
good.
Like that was a good time. I loved it. But all right, so I'm trying to think. Has anything big happened in the family here recently? before we move on to predicting the awards and stuff, because I have the awards up on my phone, but I'm trying to think.
Nothing that I can think of that got released yet.
Yeah, there's been some big
I see you.
things,
See you.
but nothing released. So
Has
Yeah.
not been released yet.
Yeah, like I know my match with Joe came out, and that was something. Man, he is just wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
And-
last thing I can think of that was released was Multiplex Game of Factions.
Yeah, and then that's probably everything I can think of. So I guess if we want to go ahead and get into the Schmodown stuff again, we are not watching the awards right now because I am pretty sure it's live right now because I just got the Patreon link like 9 minutes ago. So we don't know anything. So when these answers are obviously the correct ones, because we are all intelligent human beings here, I would hope.
Question.
Going out there? Yep.
So it's not okay for me to be watching it and reading it back as we're predicting them?
That
That's
is
not
not.
allowed?
I mean, if
Gotta
you,
close
if
the
you
window.
do that with your own conscious, whatever. I don't care.
I don't know
But-
if conscious. Have you heard the things I say?
I'm not going to say anything at all. But all right. So I guess let's start at the bottom of this list that I've got. Podcast of the year. The nominees are Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmodown, A Certain Point of View, Call to Action, Repeat the Question, and Machine Mondays. So what do you have any of you guys? I've watched A Certain Point of View. That's the only one I've ever watched. So I don't really have an opinion on the other four, and it would be not right for me to say anything outside of the one show that I've watched. So obviously that's the one I voted for. But what do you guys think about those?
I don't watch too many of them. Just a lot of time, and I don't have all that much. But if there was one I would pick, it would be A Certain Point of View, because over the past week, that's had all my people on it, all my family on it. So go them, because they've been really repping a lot with the new draft class, doing a lot to get them into it, and really having good energetic talks with everybody. Watching, Rue last night and Peggy and Christina earlier in the week, Jacoby, all that. Like, they do a good job, it seems, and they really make sure that the competitor gets to talk. They don't talk over them. Everyone gets to say what they want on it. So I appreciate that. So I'll go with that. I don't watch too many of the podcasts, but I did watch those, and I did like all the hosts of that. I thought they were all very good.
Yeah, they were real cool people. Same deal. I don't listen to podcasts much or watch them. I'm watching movies and working and doing other things. But Machine Mondays would be my other pick.
Yeah.
Machine is dope. There's no way, shape, or form, because I've been on both of those shows. That's not the reason at all. You can move on now.
All right. We're only slightly more dickheaded than the rundown was about this. I'll go one step further. That whole master list they posted on the Facebook page when they were doing the nominations, the only two I've seen of those shows is Mount Schmodown, I think is what it's called, with Ryan Payne, because I think I'm one of two guests they've ever had on the show. And somehow After Dark managed to find its way on there. I don't know what Maddie did to do that, but somehow we found our way on there. And I'm on that, so I guess that counts as watching it. What I'll say is, with the amount of fanfare and just the loudness of the people involved, if Call to Action don't win this, I think they failed themselves somehow. Like, every event that's ever existed, there's literally a section of the audience that they can just look to and go Call to Action, and they just light themselves up. How do you have that and not have this award on lock?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't watch any of them. It's no shots. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I will say I haven't really watched Call to Action, but I know Alex and Kelsey worked really hard for that show. So I understand. Again, I haven't watched it, so a certain point of view is my vote. But because again, like everyone has said, like they've had the fan leaguers on here recently, and like Molly and Jillian do a wonderful job of breaking down Schmodown content, and I mean Molly is in Schmodown content, so that helps. But that's just my opinion on the matter. But yeah, but yeah, that's all I got for this category. All right, the next one is Babyface of the Year. Brendan Meyer, Kevin Smith, Coy Jandreau, Andres Cabrera, or Perry Nemiroff.
Oh,
So this one's a little hard because they all are pretty. They have good baby faces. Coy's my boy. I love him to death, but nobody can be a bigger baby face than the kid. I mean, he kind of is it. So I have to say him, especially because he's got more matches. So you see more of the just pure innocence that he has. So I'm going with the kid.
I was gonna say, are we doing like a circle thing, just so I don't talk over anyone?
kind of what I was thinking. That's why I was just kind of being quiet here.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think the kid probably will win it. My vote actually went to Coy, simply because the fact of the matter, Coy not only got himself nominated, but 3 of the other 4 nominees are from his faction. That says a whole lot in terms of if we're talking about the award. Like, not only did you do enough for the fans to vote yourself there, but maybe not even subconsciously, 3 of the other 4 are there. And I think you could even argue Bibbs could probably be there because he's completely turned, like, essentially once you turn off the character work with him, he's just been nice ever since. So it's in that sense, it's like, for that alone, I think he deserves it. But Brendan will probably win it just because I feel like it'll probably more so go to a competitor than a manager.
Okay, Anthony, you can go.
Okay. All right. So I agree. Coy's great, and I love watching Coy. He's hilarious. I got to meet him one time after like one of the events, and he was great. He was awesome. I'm going to kind of take the dark horse in this one because everyone else on here did talk at least a little bit of trash to somebody, except Perry. Perry just goes in there and has fun. Like she's just there. She's having fun. She's always like more worried about herself than talking anything about the other team. Coy will come out and like do a little bit of smack talk, but that's what a manager's supposed to do. Brendan Meyer gets real intense sometimes and can bring out that little bit. But as just a pure baby face of somebody that is just absolutely there for fun, just to try their absolute best and just, we're going to enjoy this day. The Perry to me just personifies that. Everyone else is great. I mean, Brendan Meyer has the biggest baby face just in general. So if you're just going to do a general baby face, he wins hands down. But I'll go with the dark horse on this one as what I would have picked.
Actually, I really like your answer, Anthony. You totally changed my opinion. Unfortunately, you can't change how I voted 2 months ago.
Well,
But hey, whatever. Because I voted for Brendan. But Perry, you were absolutely right. She has always been the super nicest person whenever it comes to the Schmodown. Like she never trash talks, and you're absolutely right. So either one of them who win, that would be good. Yeah. So that's all I got to say about that. Comeback Player of the Year: Andres Cabrera, Lon Harris, Liz Shannon Miller, Jeff Snyder, or Perry Nemiroff.
I was gonna say, since Rue went first last time, I'll go. Can you reread those names again?
Andres Cabrera, Lon Harris, Liz Shannon Miller, Jeff Snyder, or Perry Nemiroff.
All right. just to put it out there before I get into my vote went to Ace. But I have issue with 2 of those being called comebacks of the year. I don't actually think Jeff made a comeback because last year he won a team's title and then made it to a singles title match and lost. And this year he won a team's title and made it to a tournament final and lost. I don't quite call that a comeback. I think that's more of a, like, in the moment, people were like, oh, he's doing so good, but I don't think he's correctly nominated here. And then, well, actually, the other 2, Liz improved statistic-wise, which I think maybe is where people are coming from, but her record wasn't bad last year. She ended positively last year, and she ended positively this year. And Harry came back and went 2-2 over 2 leagues. So I wouldn't call that a great comeback either. For me, it's Ace because he played 1 match 5 years ago, did absolutely terrible. Like, I'm being serious. If you go back and watch that, it was the only team ever with 3 players on it, and much love to those guys. And I've met Ace now, and I think he's a cool dude, but it was like bumbling servants playing. Like, seriously, it just was not a good performance. And then he comes into Inner Geekdom this year, gets bashed to hell by Parker, and then goes on a run, and unfortunately just came up short of that title. But in terms of every single match he played in, nobody thought he would win it, and he still kept winning up until Damon, obviously. I think that's the definition of a comeback. You literally came back, you got bashed so badly, no one believed in you, and then you won a tournament.
Makes sense to me. I actually like your idea, Snyder. I think the reason for a comeback for that is because that last match he completely gave up. And
True.
I think now that's why people are like, well, if he gave up on that very, very last one, now he's coming back with more positivity and more confidence. But I'm with you. I thought he was good before. I'm not going to take Perry in this one. This one, I feel like I would want to go more. I just can't do Star Wars because I don't watch it because I literally don't know anything about Star Wars. I watch the movies, but I can't watch the matches because I'm like, y'all are saying words that make no sense to my mind. But I think Lon has really stepped up when he kind of changed the demeanor and the character and kind of really got in there, got into a good groove with Paul. He showed up differently. He showed up better. Like, he was good before, but now he's really good. He's getting a lot more questions right. I'm with you on Liz. Her record was better. She did a little bit better, but I think Lon, to me, was not only as a player perspective, but as like more of a personality perspective, which Schmodown needs, added in both of those factors. So I would give him, I would give him the comeback. Or yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I disagree on one of your people. I actually think Liz did have a comeback.
That's fair.
And it's not necessarily a comeback from somewhere bad. It was more so a comeback in people's minds. Like, she came in touted as like another Ethan Irwin. She had a great record, but didn't really ever have that match that really like showcased her amazing skill. And by the end of the year, not many people, or at least I was like, oh yeah, let's have Miller's here. Right. And then all of a sudden she kept just getting win after win after win in the tournament where nobody was expecting it. And you're like, oh, okay, this is who y'all were touting in the first place. So she's the one that has the biggest, outside of Ace. Ace, I'm good. I would be cool with Ace solely off his first match to Star Wars. But if I had my gut says pick a dark horse here, and my dark horse is Liz.
Yeah, I agree with all 3 of your points. Those are all comeback players. But I agree with Ace. Again, like what Aaron said, that match in season 2 was horrendous. And then he came back and played, got just absolutely destroyed by Parker. And he made his way through the Star Wars tournament, which I think I came on the show and said that I'm pretty sure that if this pandemic didn't happen, we wouldn't have had the Star Wars tournament. So who knows what would have happened if he hadn't. But so he ran through that tournament and he brought it to Damon. Like, unfortunately, he did get TKO'd, but that's not really on him. That's on the fact that Alex Damon is so dominating in Star Wars, and I don't know if anyone is ever going to be able to beat Alex. So that's not a slight to Ace at all. He just got put up against the man whenever it came to it, but he beat every other competitor that came his way, which is the reason why, like, I don't fully understand why he's not getting a match in Star Wars next season. Like, I just don't understand, but that's nothing to do with anything. So, all right. Feud of the year. Roxy Stryer versus Shannon Barney. Shannon Barney versus Winston Marshall. Tom Dagnino versus Ben Bateman. Chandru, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name because I will destroy it versus Kevin Smets. And Founding Fathers versus Corruption.
I think it's me this time. I don't really know. Like I watch a lot of them, and like there are good feuds in there. I feel like the one I'm gonna pick, because it by far had the funniest thing that happened in this entire year, is oh no, it's not in here. My bad. I was hoping it was Roxy and Winston, because that was the funniest thing of all time with the L. That was the best thing I saw all year, and if there's a moment of the year, that should be it. I would probably go. I'll go Shannon and Roxy, I guess. I really enjoy like Shannon. Like their banter back and forth was always fun. I basically live with a secondary Shannon, so I know what that's kind of like. And I enjoyed just listening to that. You know, I know they have their character work and they're all doing all that, but those two did have good character work against each other. So I'll go with that. I didn't really follow too many of the feuds, but I really was upset when I saw Winston. I was like, oh, it's got to be Roxy and Winston. That would be great because that was the best moment. Nah, it was the other
one. For me, feuds work when they seem like they could be real. I like character work has to feel authentic. Feuds have to feel authentic, and the most authentic thing to me was Shannon and Winston. It was just two people roasting each other, having a good time. Just going at each other with no, I don't know, outside, just trying to put on a show. They were just really like, no, this would be the roast I would hit you with in real life. So I'm gonna hit it with you now because it's hilarious. And I like those kind of feuds because they feel the most real. So I'd pick Shannon and Winston.
Yeah, I agree with Amaru. I would go with that one. This is another, and it's something I noticed when I read through all the nominations this year. Some of the categories are hit a little weaker as a result of how the season had to go, and I think this is one of them. Because this is something that seems a lot focused on the story aspect, which wasn't there this season, and so it's kind of like grasping. So, like one of the nominations being Founding Fathers Corruption, that wasn't really a rivalry this year. They played a match, they lost, that was it. You know. But yeah, the most genuine one out of all of these is Shannon and Winston. Shannon and Roxy would probably be second, but I've said before on other shows on this channel, whenever Schmoedowns come up, I'm honestly not really a fan of what they do, what Roxy does with the character aspect of it. I just think a lot of the time it borders on like bitchy cattiness, and I don't mean that in any sort of mean way towards her. I just don't like that. Like it comes off as a little weird and off to me. So it essentially turns into a cat fight when it's her and Shannon. Whereas what Amara said, I think, is 100% correct. The interactions between them two are so genuine that it makes it more entertaining to watch. That's why I'd go with that one.
Okay. Yeah, I pretty much agree with the Shannon and Winston thing. Like, after the beginning of the singles tournament, Winston was the only faction that was able to compete with Corruption. And if things had been different at Spectacular, they may have won the faction title. So their war between each other was so good because they were neck and neck during the season. So, because I don't think Roxy or Tom would have caught up to corruption. I didn't think it was going to happen. But Winston had the chance. Like if Ace had beat Alex and Chandru, he did beat Chance, but if he had beat him by TKO, this might have been a different story if Adam had lost the Dan. So I think that one purely because how the faction title factors into the entire thing. All right, so next one is heel team of the year. Corruption, The Pride, Deception, Odd Couple, or Category 9.
Run that down. Run that back one more time.
Corruption, The Pride, Deception, Odd Couple, or Category 9.
Okay. My choice is the Odd Couple. And it's strictly off the back of Mark and Draco. I like heel teams that are opposite of each other, opposite heels. Snyder is great. He's a little too like in your face for me, like to the point where he goes again past what it seems like reality, but it works for him. But pairing that with Draco, who is not the type to stab you in the back, he's the type to stab you in your face, and just snipe the hell out of you. That's the type of heel. He just cuts you in every single way possible, and he smiles doing it, and it's just so subtle, and he's scary. He's a scary dude. So I'm definitely going Odd Couple.
I think when I voted again, this was one of those, like I mentioned it last time. This was one of those categories that I didn't really care about just because a lot of it's based off character work, and that was hard to make existent this year. Half of these don't even feel like heel teams to me, like unless we're counting Category 9 because they seem to hate each other more than they hated anybody else. So I went with the Pride just because, I mean, they screamed out we're heels apparently in a cut that I didn't get to see. So that was all it took to sway me. I do like your argument for the Odd Couple, though. I've never viewed Andraco as a heel, but I like your argument for it. But yeah, that was my justification for going with the Pride, was they literally screamed it, so at least I can say they are.
Right about that. I guess I kind of am agreeing with the Odd Couple. I kind of looked at all these and I was like, there's not like that heel team. Like even Corruption wasn't like full heel. They kind of like were more having fun with just kind of joking about it. I thought Deception, they're part of Corruption, but they weren't like heel team. Same with like Category 9, the Pride, just they stay their heels, but I never really felt it. The Odd Couple is exactly like Rue said. You got the one guy that's going to stab you in the back and the one guy that's going to stab you straight in the face. And that's a dangerous combination to have. And sometimes, like Rue said, I have to agree, Snyder was a lot to handle sometimes. But that's how to be a good heel, is to be over the top a little bit. And I mean, a little extra chest that I didn't need in some of these videos, and that might do it for me. Just making me look at that chest hair for so many matches might just get him the heel team. I'll put them in for that.
Yeah, I agree with the Odd Couple. For all the reasons you guys said, including the fact that Jeff, you can tell when he's mad, he definitely goes off on it. And he goes off on the Facebook group when things don't go his way. Like he plays the heel in real life and in storyline, and he does a great job. Like I don't even know if I could count the Pride as heel team, because they had to come out and tell you, hey, we're heels. Guess what? You don't do that. The Schmodown based in professional wrestling. If you ever saw Triple H come out and say, I do this because I'm a bad guy. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't have to say that. And I'm glad they cut that from the actual release, because it's ridiculous that a heel team has to come out and say, I'm doing the things that I'm doing because I am a bad guy. Yeah, no. So that doesn't even work for me. As a person who I love professional wrestling, that does not work for me at all. But yeah, so the Odd Couple. I think that's the first one where we've had a majority agree with the same choice. So good work, team.
Go us.
Yeah, go us. All right. Inner Geekdom Player of the Year. Chandru Dandapani.
Hey, you got it.
There it is.
Hey. Chance Ellison, Mike Kalinowski, Brandon Hanna, or Alex Damon.
All right, I guess I'm up first. For once, a list I can actually mostly agree with. I'll just call that out. It has to be Chandru, right? Like it has to be Chandru. He like for all the greatness that the last couple Inner Geekdom champions have been touted, the one thing they haven't been able to do is to defend. The fact that in 1 year, even though he only played 3 matches, you know, he beat Brandon Hanna, who the wins haven't come his way, but you can't argue literally statistically he is a great player. He's very good at it. He just hasn't gotten that luck yet. He beat Smets and then he defended. I just feel like that has to have it, right? He did the one thing that Rachel Cushing, Kalinowski, Mara Kanopik, Kevin Smets, the people that are touted as like people don't talk about Jason Inman anymore, but he actually defended the belts. So it's like, you know, I feel like that has to be it, right?
I can't argue with you. Like I don't really see anyone else on here. Like Chance had a great year.
Chance, yeah, that's it.
He had a great year. That would be the second choice, but Chandru had a better one. I think it's got to be that. Alex Damon, Star Wars, yeah, but Inner Geekdom, no. Brandon Hanna, no. And Mike didn't have his year. So Inner Geekdom, Chandru, he won. Like you said, he won. Defended. How do you go against it? And he's got dance moves. So win.
Let's not talk about those. No.
I know you got dance moves too.
Yeah, maybe, but let's move on. So he wouldn't win the award, but I can't not mention that Robert Parker should be in this list. For the Middle Earth display alone, that match alone should put him on the list. And he lost because he ran into the guy who won the tournament. So he definitely could replace a couple of people on that list. Wouldn't win the award because it is Chandru's, but Parker should be on the list. Nobody should be beating Chandru for that. He deserves it. It's his.
Yeah, I agree. Chandru, definitely this is his award. If he doesn't win it, it's a travesty. Yeah, like he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. So, hey, we're unanimous. Good job, team. Manager of the year, Shannon Barney, Winston Marshall, Roxy Stryer, Tom Dagnino, or Coy Jandrew.
I think I'm starting this one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not Dagnino. Let's just knock that out real quick. That's over. The rest all have solid reasonings to make it. Shannon obviously won the whole thing. She's obviously a great manager because she created winners. And I love Coy. He's fantastic, and he had some winners. There's some people on his team that are just all right, but he definitely creates fun. I'm gonna give it to Winston because as much as Roxy might have helped Snyder get out of his funk during a lot of the things, Winston clearly created great teams with the final exam. He clearly made a lot of people better, and he did provide like people picked him against Shannon Barney as the feud. Not just being a manager is being a manager. You also want people to want your players in there so you can manage. And he did that. He made it fun. He made it entertaining. And he obviously did a good job with his people. And his people all seem to really appreciate him. And that obviously needs to be part of being a great manager, is just being appreciated by players. So, and also he's hilarious, man. He just deserves it. So I'm going to go Winston.
I will talk about Winston a little bit more at another category, but for me, it's Shannon as manager of the year, based off of where she started. She had a really bad start. She was thrown in a lot of situations where people were losing on her team, not whether or not they should have lost or shouldn't. But the fact that she was able to come from outside of like the first couple of matches where standings are just changing with every match. drastically. She was at the lower half of the standings, and then drafted Collins, and then put Marisol and Collins together, and then got somebody in the IG final, and then had a teams tournament winner, and then got a rookie for who's now the champion. I can't overlook how she's able to start the year and where she ended and still won everything. So, and I think that mid-season pull of Collins is what really takes it over the top for me to give it to her for Manager of the Year.
Yeah, I probably would go with Shannon as well. Winston and Shannon are the only two I can really justify with. Like, I mean, Dagnino, I think it's impressive he blew a faction up as well as he did. You got to count for something, right? And then like Koi and Roxy both did a good job, but the problem with their teams, especially with Roxy, is like I don't think I should go to Roxy because sure she did a good job in man management, but she had a team of 10 and basically only got points from 3. I guess 4 if you count Stacy, but it was really only 3 of her players that got it. Like Jim Vavida played in 3 different divisions this year and did not earn a single point for her team. And that does have to stand for something for her management, especially when Alex Damon seems pretty independently managed in terms of he doesn't need a lot of help in that sense. Winston would be the very, very close second simply because when you look at his roster, it's the deepness of it. It's like how deep it goes, which is the same argument you would make for Shannon, right? They both got 6 or 7 players out of that 10 and made them points earners, right? Like even Adam Holovic, who got knocked out of the Inner Geekdom tournament this year, people may forget he had a teams match with Liz Shannon Miller and won. And he didn't even do that bad, honestly. He did better than the other geek player on the table, and Jared Haven. So it's like he got points out of everybody, but it does have to be Shannon, simply because she did everything Winston did while also getting all her worst players out of the way first and then rising to the top at the very end. And it's the manner of how it's done, you know? I think that does bring it in. And yeah, the vision to pull Adam and have him, you know, buzz through the way that he did, it is impressive. So it has to be her.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to be Shannon for the pure fact that Adam reached out to her, said, "You need to pick me up in free agency," and she was smart enough to be like, "You're absolutely right." If she had not done that, then who knows what the league would have been like. Dan Murrell would still probably be the singles champion because it took someone going into that much overtime with Dan to take the belt off of it. And
I mean, I sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, I guess we'll find out now because they've announced that Schneider and Dan are playing for the #1 contendership.
Yeah, like he's a beast, and she was smart enough to draft him or pick him up in free agency. So she deserves Manager of the Year. Now we'll see how well that goes with next year, because it could be that she just had all these really good players and that's what carried the team. But I see it as he led the team. And yep. All right.
I changed my vote. Y'all convinced me. Vote. I know what you're talking about now. So I see the other one. I was like, yep, I'm gonna change it. She's got Manager. I'm in. I'm good with that.
Yeah, like I was originally gonna say Roxy because I think that she has the most impact on her players when they're not doing as well as they are supposed to during matches. But Amaru and Aaron convinced me to change it to Shannon too. But I didn't want to admit to that, and then Anthony admitted.
Oh, I'll straight up admit. I don't care. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I get it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and just get with that. All right. Heel of the Year. Shannon Barney, Chandru Dandapani, Brandon Hanna, Jeff Snyder, Elliot Dewberry, or Laura Kelly.
Shannon, for the same reason as the feud. It seemed like that could be her. And then you also don't you don't doubt her when she actually shows sensitivity the other way. So if you can show like the sensitive side and like, but then still be considered a heel, yeah, it's Shannon. I don't think anybody even comes close.
Do you mind running the list back quickly?
Yeah. Shannon, Chandru, Brandon Hanna, Jet Snyder, Elliot Dewberry, and Laura Kelly.
Okay. For the same reason that I would honestly vote Coy for babyface, I'd vote Shannon for heel. We got not only herself, but 2 of her competitors nominated. And somehow Elliot nominated something that's probably completely out of his control anyways. I mean, what, he got drafted, showed up to a match looking really confused, and then showed up looking like Hitman, and he got nominated. Like, yeah, and everything Mario said too, I'm just cracking jokes at this point. But yeah, no, it's definitely Shannon.
No, yeah, this one's easy. It's Shannon. I mean, she definitely has the heel. She is able to like dig into all the other managers, to dig into the competitors. But like Ru said, show her side for her own team when she needs to. She doesn't always have to be the bad guy. And the rest of these names, like Chandra, yeah, was he kind of a heel? Yeah, but he also was kind of fun. Like he turned into one in the later edges because he was he's fun. He seemed fun. I don't know anything about Laura Kelly because again, I didn't watch any Star Wars. Snyder's a heel, but he's not as bad as Shannon and Elliot. The only reason he's in there, like you said, because he was part of the Wildberries. He was fun, then wasn't fun, and looked super creepy and like someone in the Amish hit job or something. I don't really know, but it was not something I was down for. But yeah, Shannon's, I think, the easy one here.
Yeah, I also say Shannon. I had Chandru. I voted for Chandru because at the time I was thinking of him breaking into matches and having the code saying I just finished eating a smash burger or whatever. Right after Smets came out and talked about his cancer, made me think that's him being a heel. But then I remembered Shannon broke up the Wildberries. Shannon made the Wildberries have civil war, and now Josh McCouga is no longer part of the Schmodown. And he is, when we have live matches, he is the most entertaining part of the Schmodown, in my opinion. Josh McCouga is the best, and the fact that we won't see him compete anymore is a travesty, and that is all Shannon's fault. So the way that I feel about that, she obviously gets heel of the year because of that. And yeah, like it's crazy. And this goes directly into the next category, which is moment of the year, which is something. All right, moment of the year: Merle versus Collins post interview. Shannon Barty drafts Elliot Dewberry. Merle versus Bateman. I won. Bibiani and Draco at Spectacular 5. Smith gives Jericho Kevin Smith movies.
I agree with Amaru's earlier statement that the most correct answer is when Winston literally handed her an L. I think that's more entertaining. Oh, that was that Anthony. I apologize.
That's what we're here.
No, like that's definitely better than any of these nominated moments. Outside of that, it probably would go to probably Shannon breaking up the Wildberries. Feels the most genuine. Like I wouldn't give it to the Roca thing because, and this is just me, my view of it, as somebody who isn't a wrestling fan, a lot of the time that stuff doesn't go over the best for me. So Roca turning on a guy that he spent the last year building up kind of the fuck out of nowhere and going back into a character he played for 3 years, very clearly, obviously, while Christian tries to react to it off screen. All up, guys, nothing offensive there. But it's like, okay, that's manufactured, clearly, you know. It just that doesn't hit for me. So to me, it's what felt the most genuine. Drafting Dewberry feels like Shannon took a downer drink and said, "Watch me fucking do this," and went up and did it, and it went over exactly the way you think it would.
Yeah, this is another one of the. This is an easy one. It's Shannon drafting too, Barry. I mean, there's none of these are even close. That was obviously the biggest moment of the year. It was the most epic moment of the year. Obviously, other than the L. I will die on that hill. But no, that's because that's the one that kind of broke up everyone's favorite team, and so obviously that creates the heel of the year. It creates all that, and that's definitely going to be the moment. I would have to imagine that everyone's going to remember. A lot of these other ones, people might stick in the memory, but I've honestly kind of forgot about all of them except for the one. So
you all are probably right. I have another moment that wasn't nominated. That's my moment of the year, but again, will be talked about later. And I would actually go with Andreyko and Bibbs. I thought that was genuine. It brings it back around to probably one of the top matches of all time in their debuts. That was epic, and just bringing it back to the two of them, like having that moment, was cool. Though the breaking up the Wild Berries will probably win.
Yeah, I agree. Breaking up the Wild Berries, go off my entire tangent, copy and paste from Heel of the Year, that entire tangent about them getting rid of Josh McCouga now. Same applies here. This all started with this, and no good, no fun, no good. Yeah. All right. New team of the year. Final Exam, Deep 13, The Pride, Witching Power, or Deception.
Anthony, this one's you.
Oh, was this me? My bad. I'm still trying to figure out the circle thing. I will go with this because I would have to go Final Exam. I think with saying Lon is like one of the when me saying he's the comeback player, you put him and Paul together and they do a great job. They make it really far in the tournament. They obviously they do really well together. I mean, the Witching Power is a great team. A lot of these other ones are great teams. Adam and Marisol are a great team, but I'm putting kind of a lot of things into this. I'm not just including skill. I'm including entertainment factor. I'm including how well they work together, and that one was my favorite to watch. I think, and I think they did the best out of a lot of these other teams. So I would definitely go Final Exam as the new team of the year.
Yeah, they cover all the bases, and Lon's. This isn't the moment of the year, but Lon Mulan moment was hilarious.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll just make that short and sweet. It's Final Exam.
3 of the nominees are 1-1, and Ben Goddard would do better with a better teammate. It's got to be Final Exam, right? Like there's
no question. It's Final Exam. All right, good. We didn't have to go over that very much. We all agreed. Good job, guys.
Love agreeing.
Right. Upset of the year. Perry Nemiroff beats Mike Kalinowski. Ace Cabrera beats Laura Kelly. Adam Collins beats John Roca. Chance Ellison beats Robert Parker. And then Ace Cabrera beats Andrew DiMolanta.
For me, it's an ace match, and it's Ace beating DiMolanta. I just think at that point, people were probably thinking, okay, him and Laura was a bit of an upset, but it was like he had his hot run. He was still in his hot run. By the time he got to DiMolanta, knowing how much DiMolanta wanted it, how much he had to go through with it, I would think people would be in the mindset of his run is over. This is it. He's had a nice one. He's going to hit the wall now. DiMolanta is going to win this. And down to the very end, because also there was an upset for the 5-pointer because everybody thought DiMolanta was going to hit the 5-pointer to win. And then again, you're like, oh, wow, he didn't. So I think it's Ace over DiMolanta.
I would agree with you. I'd just like to call out, because I've spent time shitting on some of the other categories for the nominees. All 5 of these nominees are actually solid. I will say that they're all legitimate upsets in their own right. I actually agree with you. It is an ace match, but I'm going to go with the Laura Kelly one just because I agree with everything you said about DiMolanta, but I think Ace beating Laura Kelly made, even if a small sect of people believe he might have had a shot, which is why it did kind of all come down to that 5-pointer, right? Whereas Laura Kelly going into that tournament was being touted as a potential winner. I think the polls were something like close to like 90 to 10% of people who thought Ace could win, and he had to pitch a perfect game to do it, which is not something anyone thought he could do based off of beating Quevedo, who was a rookie, and that wasn't a solid match. That was just an okay match for both of them. And then beating Ken, who, most people thought would win, and then you turn around and go, oh, well, he doesn't seem like he cares anyway. So for me, it's the one versus Laura Kelly, because I think, and again, it could go down to either one, and either one is a correct answer. But for me, I think it's Laura Kelly was the first one where it was like, there's no way he does this. And then he did it, and he did it perfect.
They're Star Wars people, so I'm not picking any of them because I didn't watch any of those. So I know nothing. I'm out. So I'll go to the other three. And the one I'm going to go with is the one that actually, by the end of the year, was an upset. Because even Andres, he made it to the final, correct?
Yeah, he won the final.
He won it. Adam Collins is a champion. Chance Ellison won the IG tournament. So when you look at those, in the end, they weren't really upsets because these guys wound up being the winners. Perry beating Mike was somebody that no one expected. Everyone was like, she's going to go in there. Even Coy said, we're here to have fun. Let's go. Let's just see how this goes. And Mike kind of didn't look like he was really in it that one because he was just going to skate past. And she wound up getting an upset. And that turns into, that's what I call an upset. It's somebody that nobody expects to win. And then the next game doesn't win. If she would have went and won the championship, I want to call it an upset because clearly the skills are there. So with everyone else, I think the skills are there. So it turns out to not be an upset. So I would go Perry over Mike.
All right, I say Ace beating Demolanta, but solely for the fact that I hate 3 of these matches. Perry beating Kalinowski, Collins beating Roca, and Ellison beating Parker. If you watch backstage during the time in which these matches took place, the players who won seemed way too happy when hyping up the matches, or the players that lost seemed too sad about it. So you knew that Collins beat Roca because of how Roca was acting on backstage. Same thing with Kalinowski. You knew he lost to Perry. And Ellison was way too happy when talking about his match with Parker, so you knew he won. And that's the reason why after the singles tournament, I stopped watching backstage, and I probably will not watch it during the season because I know they have to film beforehand. So if stuff like that happens, you can't expect the people not to maybe get excited about it or whatever. But that spoils the outcome of the matches. So for me, those 3 can't be considered upsets because I knew it was coming. So it has to be Ace beating Demolanta because there was no universe where I thought that was going to happen. Like when I saw the beginning of the Star Wars tournament, I thought Demolanta's going to win this, and he did not. Ace won the tournament. So by the pure upset or the pure rules of the upset, I didn't think Ace was getting past Ken. He got past every single person in his way up until Damon. So that's the upset. That he beat the person that I predicted to win the tournament. So in my opinion, that's the upset. And his match against Laura was also great. And I disqualified the other 3 because they got spoiled for me. So that's my opinion. But and I don't know what your guys' opinion on that is. I guess we'll discuss that later. I know, Maru, you need to leave, right?
What's the next one? Because there's one I want to talk about.
The next one is Star Wars Player of the Year, but we can jump to whichever one you want.
Give me Entrant to the Year.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not one.
Yeah, there's entrance. Yeah.
Where is it at?
I can run through it real quick. I have the Wikipedia here going on. So the entrance of the year, we have Real Rejects against Cuckoo's Mess, Real Rejects against The Pride, Shazam against Final Exam, Bonnie Somerville against Marisol McKee, and Zaflater Flaus, I don't know, that guy, against Kevin Smith.
Okay, so my moment of the year, I legit belly laughed for 10 minutes straight, had to pause everything because the absolute brilliance of Roka coming out, taking the mask from Greg, and then John taking off his Beaver Vendetta mask and having another one under, having the mask on and having another one under to give it right back to him. I was dead. So Real Rejects versus Cuckoo's Nest, I remember just falling out. That is my moment of the year. This is my entrance of the year. Those two always kill it, but I thought that was the most intelligent and hilarious thing I have seen maybe almost ever in the Schmodown. It was just, I was not expecting it. It played so perfectly after Roka left. And it's like, of course you would have another one under there just to get ready to give to him. Of course you would. It was perfect. I loved it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Honestly, because it's one of the few entrances that was actually in person. Like, I find it hard to nominate an entrance that's digital. So out of what was there at the beginning of the year, that was easily the best one for sure. The mask, like the fact that he thought of, which I say it out loud, it was probably planned, but the forethought
so perfectly.
No, but it does. It plays like a genuine joke. Like, and honestly, that's 2 years in a row. If they don't win for that one, that's 2 years in a row. I think Greg should have won because I thought last year his best one was pissing himself on stage. That was easily the best one. So yeah, I would agree with you. There's not much more I could add.
Yeah, that's the one. That one was hilarious. I know exactly what, because I kind of read these and I was like, I don't really remember what happened or who played who and which was the entrance because I remember the matches more. I remember the people. I just didn't remember those specific moments. But when you said that, I was like, oh no, that was brilliant. Like that was real slick and is 100% needs to be. Yeah, that's the one that should win. I think it's going to be the whatever that dude's name was. That's probably going to wind up
close.
That'll
be a of the moment win if it does win because it just happened.
Yeah, so I think that's why that'll win. But Rue, you are 100% right. That's the one that should win.
Yeah, I agree because it's the only one that took place in person. It has like entrances digitally, or I don't like them. Most of the time, I skip them when I'm fast forwarding through it. So yeah, that's the only one that classifies as a good entrance for me. And the fact that my document doesn't have that makes me mad because I went back and looked at all of these categories to prep for this show, but the website that I have is not right. So great prep.
Yeah. But anyway, I do got to get out of here. I need to eat before I go do something else, so I need to go make myself some dinner.
How do you eat dinner at 8:20?
I'm Argentine. We don't eat dinner till 9.
Okay, so, you know what? My friend is as well, and we always ate dinner very late. So I get it now.
The stories of people having to deal with that, like, what are y'all doing? Why are we not eating it? I'm like, I'm sorry. So
I get it.
All right, y'all.
Well, I can't wait to have you back on. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, and Anthony, next week, sir.
Oh, come on, don't do it to me. Don't.
Peace.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun.
I can.
All right. So yeah, that was a blunder on my part about the preparation. But hey, thank you for being prepared. All right. Star Wars Player of the Year: Andres Cabrera, Alex Damon, Laura Kelly, Andrew DeMolanta, or Molly Damon?
I'm just going to show back here.
See, that the thing about the Star Wars League is it's so hard to like pick nominations for it. Can you guys still hear me? I can see that I'm frozen.
Yeah, we can hear you though.
Yeah. I'll figure out the camera thing in a minute. The Star Wars League is so hard to nominate for because like 2 of those nominees went 1-1 this year, and that's just hard for me to give like a Player of the Year award to. It's for me, honestly, it's a 50-50 toss-up between Ace and Alex, because there's the argument of, Alex only played 1 match all year, but Ace was the oncoming train that Alex beat. So it's like I could see the argument for either one. Ace had the momentum and lost, and can I say it was an unfortunate but deserved loss. One of my things with that match, that not to ramble on too much, but one of the things with that match that actually made me realize I don't think the way they're handling round 4 is the best right now is because it takes out player knowledge. If Alex hadn't just charged an answer on that incorrect answer and was able to know where the score was, he could have just sat on it and knocked out Ace and gotten the extra point. But because the competitors have no way of knowing where that score is at unless they're trying to tally it in their heads themselves, it meant that he waged a guess thinking he might be right and lost himself the chance at that knockout. So it's like, and that's a whole nother thing, but that's just, this match made me notice that more than anything. And I like the concept. I just don't think that's handled the best. But honestly, I'm not swayed one way or the other. I just think it has to be one of those two.
It is absolutely Alex Damon. Like, in my opinion, he's the champion. He took on the tournament winner and he knocked him out. He got the TKO. It's the champion. It's Alex Damon. There's no question in my mind that he is Star Wars Player of the Year. And unless some of these Dragon Con players come in and just like wreck shop, I think he is going to be Star Wars Player of the Year every year for the rest of time. And that's the one reason why I don't like that they split the Star Wars and the IG categories up, because now it's always going to be Alex Damon. And he will continuously get this award every single year, unless, again, these Dragon Con players come out and just like take him to town. But I guess we'll see about all that. All right, so Rookie of the Year. And Anthony, if I am missing anything at any point, you step right in, okay?
I mean, there are a ton of these, so I didn't know if you wanted to go through every single one. If you had any other things you want to talk about on this podcast today, but you're not missing too many. I think there's only like maybe 3 left, from what I'm seeing. So, but
I'm gonna skip Match of the Year, and then I'm gonna do Rookie, Team, and then Singles and Player of the Year.
All right, that makes sense. I think that's pretty much about it.
Because I agree. We want to get to our Lord of the Rings review. I do, because now I have 2 people who, one has just only seen the movie recently, and then you who have a very interesting opinion on it. So
interesting, it's right. Anyway, I will go to Rookie of the Year. I think, I don't know if Aaron's still on the stream or not.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't see the audio. All right, cool, perfect. Rookie of the Year. I believe there's only one answer for it, and it's our Fan League bully, Adam Collins. I mean, he went undefeated. He won. Everyone else in this list is great. Craig is fantastic. I've talked to him a couple times, and he's awesome. As a person, he's great. As a player, he's great. But he didn't get that win. When you go combined personality and skill, he is way up there. But Adam Collins won. He went undefeated. You can't say anything with anyone else here as not Rookie of the Year. So Adam Collins.
Yep, Adam Collins. That's the right answer. Aaron?
What's the award? Sorry, I've been focusing on this.
Okay. Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Adam Collins next.
He's like, don't even need to hear the options. It's Adam Collins.
All right.
You don't go 8-1 over 2 leagues and not win.
Yeah.
Yep. Team of the Year. Odd Couple, Shazam, Final Exam, Corruption, Founding Fathers.
All right, you want to go first?
You can go first.
All right. I'll go with that. Team of the Year. I'm going to go It's between the Odd Couple and Shazam. Obviously, they're the two that have been kind of fighting through the whole time. But I would go Shazam overall. Mainly, that might just be my personal preference of between the two teams. I know the Odd Couple just won, but Shazam won earlier, so both kind of champions. They're both in there. But I just enjoy Bibbs and Meyer better. I like the face characters. That's if I ever was in it, that's me. I would do the face, and I like Coy. I like Bibbs. I like Meyer. I would go Shazam. Like 3 of the teams are great, but they are just in Team of the Year because they needed to throw a couple teams in Team of the Year. It's between 2 teams, really.
Yeah, I agree that they're great, and I think it's a weirder situation that there were this season had went by. Like Shazam, they went through that little mini tournament to get to corruption. They won that little mini tournament. Now it's weird because the Odd Couple, they didn't play as many people as Shazam did, but I love both teams. It's really hard to choose, and I can't remember which one I chose when the time actually came for me to choose that. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Aaron?
I apologize again with the camera thing. Could you just run the 5 back so I can hear him for sure?
Odd Couple, Shazam, Final Exam, Corruption, and then Founding Fathers.
Yeah, Founding Fathers, they went negative. Honestly, I think I might go with Odd Couple, only because both Final Exam and Odd Couple it's between Final Exam, Odd Couple, and Shazam, and all 3 had to make tough team tournament runs in order to reach wherever they got. But Odd Couple beat both of the other 2 close nominees, so that's what would break it for me. Not only did they make the same tough run that both the other teams had to make to reach where they got to, but they also beat them both.
All right. So, Singles Player of the Year: Adam Collins, Dan Merle, Jeff Snyder, Liz Shannon Miller, and Ethan Early.
I mean, I'm gonna stick with Adam Collins.
Adam, yeah.
He's coming halfway through the season, but he's undefeated and he won. He won the whole thing. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the only person you could hold a candle to is Dan, just because he did take the belt off Bateman and he played 2 close matches with Ethan and then Ben again to hold on to it, and you can't take anything away from him from that Adam match. That just came down to one unlucky question. Essentially, they both played the best they could play at that moment. But I think it would be Adam, only because he had that aid of being a rookie, and with the exception of, which this is interesting, with the exception of his first match versus Gallegos, however you say his name, with the exception of his play-in match, not only did he not play against rookies, but he played against established people who have been around for well over a year by this point, because he beat Roca, he knocked out Lon, he beat Jeff, he beat Dan, he beat Brendan. That's 5, right? Yeah, 6, 7.
Get in there.
That's most of them. I'm forgetting someone in there, but that's the point in being, right? Not only did he not play any rookie, everyone he beat was established, and the first few he beat pretty handedly, which I think is impressive. So yeah.
Yeah, it is absolutely Adam Collins. And, yep. All right. So, Player of the Year: Jeff Snyder, Adam Collins, Dan Merle, Chance Ellison, or Andres Cabrera?
Jeff. when you look at those 5 nominees, all of them had a weak point. Adam did great in singles. Teams did not go their way. When you look at Chance, he had great runs in teams and geek, but singles did not go his way again. Ace made a great run in Star Wars, but he also lost the title match in a pretty handed way. And of course, there was that inner geekdom bashing at the start of the season. And who was the last person I missed?
Merle.
Merle. Right. And Merle's Merle. But even then, Founding Fathers didn't play well. They went 1 for 2 this year. They also did not play very well. And so I think for that point, player of the year comes down to who is the overall player of the year. It has to be Jeff. He's the only person who was able to take on more than one league and find the utmost success in both of them. When he finally got a singles match, he went on a tear. When he finally got a teams match with Andreyko, they went on a tear and didn't, the only person Jeff lost to this year, I believe, he lost to Ethan early in the year, like in the studio, and then he lost to Adam, who was on the Buzzsaw run. But other than that, he didn't lose. And I think those are both good enough matches that you can forgive the loss and still give it to him, because neither blundered the season of overall.
That's a really good point. Because obviously I picked Adam for like 2 things already. He was high on my list for player of the year because he went undefeated in singles. He had, like you said, a rougher time in teams, but if you watch the matches, he kind of crushed it a lot in the teams. Like he was still going perfect in the first round.
But I get what you're saying, but wasn't he also the reason they lost their match? He missed his round 3 question, not Marisol.
I think so, yeah. But I kind of like your idea with Snyder. I get it, and I'll kind of agree with you. Adam's got 2 other ones. He's good.
Right.
He's fine. Let him go. And Jeff also kind of had a little bit of a comeback from the last one, just because that last match he was so miserable and down, and it looked like he was just going to be done for the rest of the time. And he did come back, and all the points you made were great. He really didn't lose a lot. He won in the teams. He did really well in singles. He might not have won there, but he did better than a lot of these other people. And aces in Star Wars only. I mean, you can't give it to someone who's only in 1 league when you got 4 people here that are good in 2. So,
yeah.
Yep. Jeff Snyder he's the one I picked, and I think he's going to win. And I guess we got all of them. So let's move on to our good old-fashioned movie time. This week, we will be reviewing Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. So, what do you guys think? I have some questions to ask both of you.
Oh, God.
So, just from this movie, like, you don't need to factor in their progress from Two Towers and Return of the King. Just factor in their characterization in The Fellowship of the Ring. Who is your favorite character, and who is your hero character, and who is your least favorite hero character? We won't talk about the villains because there's really only 2 in this entire trilogy, Sauron and Saruman. Unless you want to talk about like the random named orcs, which I do not. But if you guys want to talk about villains, we can talk about villains. That's really up to you guys. Who's your favorite hero and your least favorite hero in just the Fellowship of the Ring?
So I was going to say, while Anthony's thinking, I'll get out ahead of this and say, if you've seen anything TNG, especially Geek, for the longest time, I had not seen the films. I've actually seen all 9 of them now. I've seen all 3 of the animated ones because I just decided, fuck it, I'll complete it. To me, this one is the worst of the trilogy, in my opinion, and I don't say that in any sort of bad way. I just think it's the weakest of the 3. But interestingly enough, I actually think if we're talking about one single characterization, I think this movie does have it. And for me, that would be Sean Bean as Boromir. I think out of the entire trilogy, he is the best written character. He's easily the most complex of the main group, and that's not to say the others don't have complexities to them, but in terms of he is the only one that's really tortured. Every other character that's a part of the main group, aside from the one literally carrying the ring, is this pure at heart person. Whereas with Boromir, there's corruption from the ring there, but it's a mix of what is truly good and what he thinks is right playing into the character. I think it's the best written. I think Sean Bean does a great job. And I've only seen the extended version of this film. I saw it in a theater. And as somebody who even by the end of this movie was just thinking, oh God, can this end? His death scene pulled me back into it because I actually cared about that character. And I knew he died because of the memes. It's a thing. Sean Bean dies and everything.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a really good job. It's probably the best characterization, in my opinion, in the whole trilogy. And he is the thing that makes the movie. Like, if I ever rewatch this film, it'll simply be because I think his character is that well written.
I agree. This is the worst of the three, which is saying a lot because I think all these movies are terrible. I absolutely despise this series, and I didn't even watch the extended cut because I don't got 4 hours of my life. I fell asleep during the regular one, and that's only like 2.5. I was out. And this was in the theaters. I don't fall asleep in theaters. I fell asleep during every one of these. I will say I will answer this question because I did watch the movie and I did enjoy. Who was Viggo Mortensen? What was his name?
Aragorn.
Cool, perfect. Something I wasn't going to remember. I liked him, and there are a lot of stuff, background things like I read. You're like, oh, this was really in the movie. Like this actually happened. Stuff that happened with him, which made him so much more badass. In the end, like he actually broke his toe kicking a helmet. A freaking dumb orc actually threw a real knife at him and he blocked it. I don't remember if this was from this movie, but that's awesome. And that makes him awesome. So, and I like him as an actor in general. I think he does a good job in everything he does in this movie. He showed he didn't have the complexities as Sean Bean's character did, but he survived. So he clearly has survived. So he's got that going for him. So that would be my choice for like the hero character. I mean, he's kind of like the only person I enjoyed in the movie, but then he like wanders off because like these people wander off over here and then these people wander off over here and then this guy gets lost in some fucking snow or something. I don't know. I can go off for a while, but I'll let Golan continue his questions before I just go on a complete tangent about how bad these movies are.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
That's
this is going to be great. This is going to be great.
Yeah. As a person who I have said multiple times, Return of the King is my favorite movie ever. I love contrary opinions.
I got him.
But my favorite character at least in the Fellowship of the Ring, is Samwise Gamgee. He is so innocent and pure and just wants to do everything he can for the good of the people. Like, he doesn't have to go with Frodo and do any of that stuff. He chooses to. At the end of the movie, he chooses to drown himself trying to get to Frodo in the boat. Like, he doesn't have to do that. He can just let Frodo go away. It's fine. But he keeps his vow to Gandalf, and I love it. And because it's a real crap situation. Like, he doesn't know. He's gonna. All he knows, he's gonna die on this mission. And if it was me, I am I don't want to say I'm a selfish person, but I would have stayed on the beach. I would have stayed and just been like, well, I can't get over there. I don't know how to swim. And but he does that. Now, granted, he's the only good hobbit in this movie. Merry and Pippin are idiots. And Frodo is obsessed with the ring. Like, even though he's only had it for a little while, he is already growing into his obsession with it. So, yeah, and all the other characters, at least when I was a kid, I couldn't relate to any of them. Aragorn is like 80-something years old and a warrior and
hold up. That's what 80 looks like in their Earth?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, I'm going there.
Yo, you kidding me? If I can look like Viggo Mortensen like that at 80, I'm down. Like, works for me.
it's because he's of the blood of Numenor, and they age slower.
His face. He's like, no, don't.
But we don't have to get into all that. But
This is another language for you, isn't it?
Oh, this is all another world. I mean, literally.
Yeah, like Sean Astin's portrayal of
Rudy? Yeah, Rudy's great.
yeah, of Samwise is great. Like, I remember reading the books when I was a kid and thinking to myself, this is the only one who fits that. Like, Ian McKellen fits Gandalf. Great. But he's still, an all-powerful wizard that I can't really relate to.
I have a comment about that at some point about the wizard thing. So just let me know and I can make my comment about that.
Okay. So now,
is it about the bad wire work in that fight scene? Because that's pretty obvious.
Oh no, I didn't pay that much attention. I got a straight wizard question, but we'll get to it.
So now my next question is, who is your least favorite hero in each of these movies? Or in The Fellowship and the Ring specifically? And if the person survives, then I will ask you about it next week on if that has changed at all. But obviously, go ahead, because I'll answer mine in just a...
You want to go, Anthony?
Sure, I'll go first. You know who sucks in this movie, other than everyone? Frodo by far. You even said it yourself. He becomes obsessed with the ring. He doesn't give a fuck about his ring. Yo, guys, I'm going to pretend to go drop this shit down a volcano, but actually I'm just trying to get away from you so I can put this thing on and turn invincible for like 20 seconds while all these weird things attack me while I'm invincible. It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. He is not a good friend. These people are great friends to him. You're right. The friendship in this movie is a lot, and it does show, and I appreciate that. And I'll be honest, the scenery of this movie is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen shot. It's all New Zealand. New Zealand's beautiful. It's great. It's shot beautifully. But, oh my God, I even like Elijah Wood. I just think it was pointless. It didn't really, his character arc never really hit. He's like, oh, cool, I'm this kid, and now I have this ring, and I feel obsessed with it. And then Gandalf's like, oh, wait, no, it's a powerful ring. And which turns into a question of, why is this called Lord of the Rings when there's one ring and numerous lords trying to get it? It should be Lords of the Ring. That would make a lot more sense of the title. Just a couple random tangents I'm going on right now. I was thinking about this earlier. And
I fucking love this. I love this.
There's one friggin' ring. There's one. And it turns you invincible. Congratulations. You know what happened?
Wait, can I just ask, when's the last time you watched the movie? I'm just curious.
Oh, it was a while ago, but
was it 2001 or was it more recent?
More recent than 2001. I watched it once in the theaters. I fell asleep. I was like, I have to give this another try because everyone loves it. I watched it again, and I kept myself awake by drinking Red Bull and Skittles, and I made it through, but I didn't like it. And
all right, so let me just tell you something, Anthony. There's actually 20 rings in the movie. But
there's one ring to rule them all.
Yes, that is true. So Lord of the Rings, because Sauron is the Lord of the Rings. So
all right, makes more sense now. I appreciate that, but I still think it should be called Lords of the Ring. I think it's better.
But all right, so Aaron, what do you?
Not as much vitriol in my voice, but I actually am gonna agree with him. Not for the same reasons. But because it's something that stood out to me more, and this does travel across the whole trilogy. I don't know if either of you here have seen the probably not Anthony, but the Ralph Bakshi animated one from the late 70s. Watching that made me realize, and I'm sure it was a choice on purpose by Jackson. Watching that made me realize how fucking stupid they wrote Frodo in this film. And I quite literally mean the character. The character is written to make the worst decision every time, almost, even without the influence of the ring being there. Like, he's written so absent-minded at times, whereas in that book, which from everything I've heard, that characterization of Frodo is a little more closer to the books. That Frodo has a brain. He's thinking. He's working through. He's not just like Frodo carries the ring, but Frodo also just stands there and watches everything else happen around him. Like there's a scene in the and I'm paraphrasing, but there's a scene in the first film where he stares at a lake and goes like, I have a bad feeling about that, and then continues to just sit next to it till he gets roped in by a lake monster. And I forget the name of the creature is, but it's like, come on, like logic, like basic logic in characters. And I know that you have to do that to let the character get into that situation from the book. Well, then just don't bring over a piece of dialogue where he goes, I don't like the look of that lake. Just leave it out and let him get taken in and leave it as like just the writing of the character. I think in certain areas he was written clearly on purpose to be very dull in terms of intelligence, it feels like. And it's not an artistic decision that I agree with from a lead character, because it makes the moments where he's getting seducted in by the ring just make him look even dumber. Whereas I think if he was actually written as a smart character and then you watch him be seduced by the ring and start to make these decisions, and this is obviously going just a little further than this film when I explain this, but it's like, it would make that more clear as to, oh, the ring is really having an effect on him, because you can see him almost making the worst decision to put himself in trouble because of what the ring does to him. If that makes any sort of sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that. That sounds like a better movie.
All right, so my least favorite character, unfortunately, is Aaron's favorite character in the movie.
Oh,
I hate Boromir. Like, he is a absolutely selfish prick. He wants the ring for Gondor, even though he understands that if Gondor gets the ring, Sauron wins the war. Because men cannot be trusted with the ring. He understands this, but he still wants it because it will make Daddy happy. And I hate that. Like, that's one of the things, like, about the extended editions that I hate. Like, I refuse to watch the extended editions, and I hate that. It's the one thing about TMG that I hate, is that they require me to watch those stupid versions of the movie.
We don't require you to watch them.
Well, they ask questions about the extended editions, which means I have to watch them.
I know what you're talking about. We can talk off camera. That's not what that was meant to be. But go ahead.
But, well, no, because, like, yeah, so in the extended versions, you find out that Denethor wants the ring, so he sends Boromir to Rivendell to go get the ring. And so it's, in the extended versions, it makes Boromir an absolute puppet of his father, and that he is doing this to make his father happy. And him just, in the theatrical version, him just doing it on his own is so much more compelling than knowing that he's doing this for someone else. And so his death means absolutely nothing to this movie. Like, he was selfish, and I remember even being a kid, 2001, I was, 10 years old, and still thinking, he deserved that. He understands that that's not right, and he still goes after the thing. And now it wasn't until years later that I realized that, oh, they made these extended versions of the movie that make his selfishness make more sense. But I don't think you should have to watch an extra hour and a half of content for that to make sense. So in the course of that, only Boromir is just, I don't like Boromir. But
and I was going to say, I'm not educated enough on Lord of the Rings to ever debate anyone. But I guess when I saw the way that I viewed all of that is, right, he wants it because, you know, his father sent him. But if I remember correctly, they also established that between him and his brother, who's, I believe is Carl Urban, I forget his name, but he is the lesser loved brother. And he's also doing it. Yes, man can't be trusted, and he's doing it to save his kingdom, even though he knows if he does it, he means he'll win the war. To me, that's it. With part of that, I think it comes from influence of the ring, because he is partially being influenced by the ring, the want for the ring. But also, I view it as it's that choice of do you go for overall humanity or personal love? Because at the end of the day, if he's a son whose father has shown some kind of clear neglect or distaste towards him, then of course you would do whatever your dad needs to want to make him love you. So if he brings this ring back, not only is he saving his kingdom, he's pleasing his father, right? So it's that personal struggle of, do I care about the world as a whole, or do I make myself right and deal with the consequences? In the end, he realizes what he's did is wrong, and you're right. His death is absolutely deserved, which is why for me it works. Because it's a character that realized his mistake and took the payment for it.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, he is the favorite son of Denethor. So he goes out on this quest to make his dad happy, even though he's already the favorite. And his dad loves him so much that he, like, this will be getting into the later movies, but Denethor wants Faramir to be dead so that Boromir can live. Like, he regrets not sending Faramir off on this mission instead of Boromir. Like, the fact that you already have, like, your father's admiration, you don't need to follow every step of his way. Like, I don't agree with it, but, like, I also, yeah, he's just my least favorite character, but there are other, like, you both were right about Frodo. He's not a good character in this movie. He's just not. But is there anything else you guys would like to talk about the movie before I go on a rant about the extended editions?
I mean, please don't. I mean, all I was doing was listening to you guys discuss it, and like, I mean, like the ideas are there. Like, there are good parts of these movies. There are good ideas in these movies. But when you make it 4 hours long, like you said, the hour and a half extenders cut, how much more can you put in a movie that's really going to make it better? You got every I'll be perfectly honest, every time you guys said Boromir, all I could think of was like Borophil and just being bored. Like, it's boring because they make it so long. If they would have made this maybe 2 movies and just extended 1 and 2 a little bit more, I understand you have to do the bits and pieces. The other ones have some good fights and wars, whatever. There was nothing in this one. They walked forever. And then guess what? Somebody betrayed somebody. And then guess what? Like you said before, Frodo constantly makes bad decisions. It's like watching Meet the Parents in the friggin' Shire. Something bad happens every 10 seconds because of a bad decision. That's what I'm getting out of this movie. It makes little sense. And also, real quickly, because, I mean, I know we're kind of running a little lower here on the time, but Gandalf is a wizard, correct? A powerful wizard? Am I wrong?
All right. Well, so technically he's not a wizard. He's a Mithrandir, which is an angel. Which
angel. Probably more powerful than a wizard, I would imagine.
But
wouldn't that is that when he comes back, or is Gandalf the no, fuck it, I don't know enough to argue. Go for it, fuck it.
Yeah, a little explanation, because if you're a wizard, I would imagine you could be like, hey, you see that ring? Zap, and guess where it pops up? Over volcano, and it drops into volcano, and
okay, I get where you're getting at.
Right. And
I mean,
the ring is over.
You're making the same argument as the people who go, well, why didn't the Eagles just fucking fly them there? Like, if you know the fucking Eagles, just hop on an eagle and go.
I mean, I also agree with that statement, because
what is this trek to Mordor?
I mean, also, it's an eagle. Why would you not want to fly on an eagle? I want to fly on an eagle like I want to fly like an eagle, like R. Kelly says, but they don't do it. It would have made it easier, I guess, but then you don't get 18 hours of walking in 3 movies. So
no, you don't.
Yeah, you got to make that money. You got to make that bread. So
listen, I can live with the Eagles. They were like one of the 3 enjoyable things in Battle of the 5 Armies. Totally different movie, but it sucked. So,
but yeah, he is technically a wizard, but he's an angel who takes the body of a wizard, and he's one of 5 wizards. And Saruman is the most powerful of the wizards, but they're in the same kind of class as Sauron. They're both the same kind of beings, but the gods of the world tell them that they aren't directly allowed to interfere with Sauron, which is the reason why they're not supposed to touch the ring themselves.
That's a lot of rules.
Yeah. So it's the entire thing.
Yeah,
You don't get
I agree with that assessment. Like, all right, there's a... That is honestly one of the things I have issue, and it is interesting. Like, as somebody who's in the middle, where it's like, look, I guess just my opinion after seeing the 3 films was, look, I gave the first one a 9. I gave the second one a 10 out of 10. I legitimately love that film. And I think it's the best. And I gave the third one probably a 9 out of 10 as well. I can appreciate the craft and the filmmaking and the thought that went into these movies. And I think the performances are brilliant. I finished the trilogy and went with the exception of the second one because I think it has the best pacing. I will never watch these again. I don't have an intuition to ever want to watch them. They did not hook me in that sort of way. I can appreciate the brilliance of the filmmaking behind them. And I do agree with that sentiment. Like, I get why Return of the King won 11 Oscars, as we found out earlier. I do get that. Nothing about it hooked me in, though. And so it's interesting seeing the contrast of, like, Anthony, someone who's not sucked in by these movies at all, doesn't even like them to begin with, and you're giving out all these things, and Colton has a perfectly reasonable, for the universe, response to it. But it's such a, and this is not anything against Colton. It's just, it is what it is, what Tolkien wrote. It's such a heady response that it's like, you can see why there'd be divisiveness in this, because it's like, do you want to submit yourself to that thought of, like, he's a wizard? Well, no, he's a wizard who's an angel, who's a being, who takes the form of a wizard, who's this. And it's like, how much do you buy into, how much do you like the film that you want to buy into all of this? I think it's a really interesting dichotomy, you know?
Nice word.
Yeah. So one of the things that I really like about the movie is, and it's the one moment where even to this day I still feel for Frodo, is when they're in Moria and he gets stabbed by the cave troll. Because up until that point, you don't remember that he has the mithril shirt. So he gets stabbed and you think he's dead. But it's the part of the extended editions that I don't like. Is 5 minutes before that in the extended editions, they see Mithril in the cave, and then Gandalf's like, Bilbo had a Mithril shirt. And then it reminds you, oh, he's probably wearing it. Which I'm glad they cut out of the theatrically released movie, because all the time, like, I'll watch that movie and I'll be like, I remember being surprised here and thinking, oh, Lord, he's dead. And you don't get that in the extended edition because you know he has the shirt and that it can't be pierced by objects like that. And you're like, oh, okay, that takes all the dramatic tension out of that scene. So I'm glad they cut it out of the movie. But it's
how does that dude get stabbed? Man, it seems like people are just stabbing Frodo left and right.
But yeah, but at least, like, all the times he gets stabbed before that is before he had the armored chain shirt.
Right.
So then it's fine. But I mean, it happens. People get stabbed. But
sure, people can't argue that.
Is that the log line of Chicago? People get stabbed.
I like this movie. Whenever it comes to, obviously, we have to rank it number 1 right now because it's the only one we've reviewed. But by the end of the 6, we're gonna rank all of them. Where do you think this one will rank in the 6 if we are predicting it 5 weeks?
I mean, I don't know what your system is for an overall ranking. I know is because what I do is I'll watch through franchises and score them and rank them as I go. For me, out of the 9 Lord of the Rings films, it does rank 3rd. I think this trilogy is easily the best of all 9. But it's the worst of this trilogy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So 3rd, I guess, because
There's 9 of these things?
Well, there's
3 animated.
Oh, the animated. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen all of those too, so I count them. Which, by the way, 2 of those are still better than Battle of the 5 Armies for anyone keeping score. That's how bad that movie is.
I can't even pull The Hobbit. I after Lord of the Rings, like, I don't like these. I heard The Hobbit's worse. I'm not even gonna pull it. I will say that with not watching the Hobbit ones, I will probably still rank this 3rd of the 6 that I know exist. Because it's like you said, it's the worst of this trilogy. Like, the other 2 have better moments. This one never had that. Holy crap! Like, that was an awesome scene. Like Like Aaron said, like it is beautifully shot. The cinematography is fantastic, and that is not something I will take away from that. The score, all of that, it looks beautiful. But I can only go so far of looking and hearing things without any sort of entertainment factor behind it. And so that's my issue with these is Peter Jackson did a great job of shooting it. They did a great job scoring it. They did all of that really well. They casted it really like you look at this cast, you're like, I like that guy, I like that guy, I like that guy, I like that girl, I like that girl. Like it's great. And then they just don't give them anything to act. They're just kind of there, and they then here we're going this way, we're going this way, we're going this way, we're going this way, we're staying here, and then you split up into groups. So any reaction you can get or any emotion you can get from one group to the other disappears because they apart. They move apart from each other. So anything you can start to feel for some of these characters, you lose when two of them go off in one direction. And then, okay, they have their little thing. And then guess what? Everyone's going to meet up at the end because that's how life works. And then you don't care about these characters anymore because the main character's back. So that's kind of where my issue is with this. I'm never going to say it is I don't like the movie. I'm never going to say you're idiots for liking the movie because I get why people like this movie. I get why people like Star Trek. I get why people love Star Wars like they do. It's not my style, but Lord of the Rings, of all the geekdom type stuff, is by far my least favorite. And this movie of the three, definitely the worst.
Okay. So yeah, I agree. It will probably be number 3 whenever we finish. So Anthony, have you watched the Hobbit movies?
Oh God, no.
Okay. So in 3 weeks, we're gonna do the Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. Will you be able to make yourself watch it between now and then?
I will give it a shot. I might need some naps, so I'll use it.
You'll get your naps during An Unexpected Journey. It's the slowest of the 3.
No doubt in my mind. I got naps for Battle of the Fire, not Battle of the Fire, whatever the third, Two Towers, Return. I got naps on all of them in the theater. I tried to rewatch. I had to rewatch them at home because I fell asleep during every one. I will attempt. I promise you, I will give it a shot because I have time during the day while she's working, and I will watch it. I mean, I feel like I'm animated now, and it's only going to get worse if these movies are worse than Fellowship of the Ring.
Honestly, so getting an idea of what his criticisms are, I actually think there's a shot he might like, maybe not like completely like, but I think he might find The Desolation of Smaug at least bearable. Because I think that movie is the best paced in that it's always moving, there is always something happening at the very least. There are moments where it's standstill conversation, but it's far, because it is a shorter film as well, it's far less sporadic than with the other trilogies.
So I can deal with like the stand around conversation if there's a point. If something's going to happen afterwards that this conversation is, it uses it in a way. Like there's a lot of movies I watch that literally nothing happens. It's a lot of talking, but it's still a great movie and I love it. These movies have the feel of we're an action movie, we're a fantasy movie, things are going to happen, and then they don't, and I'm disappointed. Like, hit somebody, someone throw something, throw a rock at this guy, and let him punch you, and let me get something to happen. But that doesn't. Then they just hide and walk again.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna review the Two Towers next week. Hopefully, I can't wait to see what your guys' opinion is.
Better.
Again, Aaron's favorite character was Boromir, and his least favorite character was Frodo. Anthony's favorite character was Aragorn, and his least favorite character was Frodo. And my favorite character was Samwise Gamgee, and my least favorite character was Boromir. Mine will obviously change my least favorite character because my least favorite character is dead now. So we'll at least have some kind of progress between now and the next movie.
No progress.
We're gonna end that, and we're gonna close shop. Fellas, thank you so much for being on the podcast. So Anthony, how do you feel about your match next week?
Not good. Not good at all. He's gonna go geek and he's gonna destroy me. He's one of the best players there is, and I clearly know nothing about Lord of the Rings. You said words that made no sense to me. I watched like First Contact for the first time 2 days ago, so that's my 1 out of 4 Star Trek movies I've seen, and the other 3 are the new ones. And unless you like 10 comic book questions, that's the only way I'm maybe going to survive this. Maybe.
Well, I mean, he could choose singles. Make it more even, but again,
make this fair.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a very interesting time. It won't be as fun for me as getting your wife to play you. And
that was good. I still give you props for that. That was solid.
Anthony, do you have anything you need to plug or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I do. Obviously, I'm around on a lot of the stuff, TMG, Full Metal, Multiplex, a lot more often. Feature presentation productions, I'm on there a lot. Every now and then on Fantasy Film Fights on Wednesdays, FPTL on Sundays. I host and play a bit on there. Also, Opening Night Trivia League. We just kind of had more of an open call out for any rookies that want to come do that league. Also, I have my own show on there called Working Title, where you pitch movies. So it requires no trivia knowledge. I give you a couple ideas. I give you an idea of 3 words, 5 words. Hey, do this, do that. And then you come with a movie pitch for me. Pick your actors, pick your director, come through, argue with the other person that you're pitching against. It's just for fun. I pick who I like more at the end, but in the end, I know nothing, and I'm not giving you money for the movie, so it doesn't matter. Colin did it once against Rue. He did a great job. I look forward to having him back at some point. I just had Video Drew on this past Thursday, and the next 2 weeks I'm going to have all of our Fan League rookies that are in the draft are going to be playing against each other, my wife and Peggy, and then Rue and Jacoby the week after that. So those are always fun. And if anyone wants to do it, just hit me up. It's a good time.
All right. So, Aaron, do you have anything to plug or?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm part of the team here at TMG, so you guys can find me involved in a lot of that. Our Geek tournament matches should be going up every Sunday night at 8 p.m., so hopefully the next one's up tonight. And then obviously the other thing, by the time this video goes up, the announcement will be made, so I can actually plug it. Our brand new Schmodown interview style show, Schmo Talks, premieres tomorrow. The first episode is just a basic setup of how the show will kind of work, but our plan is it's an interview style show in which we will be bringing on potentially both competitors and fans, and we will be having these interviews with them and really kind of talking and shining the light, especially with the fan side of things, shining the light on people and getting interviews with people that normally wouldn't be brought in for that kind of thing. Tomorrow is tomorrow, Monday night, is our first kind of intro episode. And then next Monday, we are going to be doing a kind of full-in cover with the free agency that will have happened by then, the pick 3 kind of thing they're doing. And to help us cover that pick 3 will be 2 of the upcoming draftee entrants, which will be announced on the show tomorrow if you guys check that out. So be sure to check us out. We already have some plans in places for what we're going to do. That'll be talked about tomorrow as well, but we're looking forward to it. Thank you guys for watching.
And when you say tomorrow, what day is that?
Monday.
Again, this will come out Sunday.
We're going to air it. Yeah, Mondays. I mean tomorrow in terms of when this airs. Don't worry.
Okay, good job. I was just making sure that you...
That's a pro right there. That is a pro move.
That's good.
We have an entire Geek tournament recorded, and we're in round 2 of airing. I know how to keep a secret.
All right. Well, guys, I'm glad to have you guys on. I hope you come back. Again, we're going to have to talk Lord of the Rings again next week. Aaron, I know you said you'd be interested in the trivia competition. Is that a thing you actually would be into? Or
Yeah, I went 9 for 10. Like, in the background, I was messaging with Amaru in the private chat, like, yo, are you getting this? Like, so, and apparently I at least knew one that he didn't, which was the THX one. So I actually think I'd be all right at this. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll definitely put you on the list of competitors, and then we'll go from there. But listeners, viewers, I was wanting to let you guys know again. Follow me on Twitter at Colton Roberts 8, and follow the show at SuperNova_show for updates. And I'll be posting the episodes there on my Twitter. Just come give me a follow. We'll figure something out. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right, catch you around.
Bye bye.